Hey kids, we're a couple of annoyed grunt boys, and this is the 138th Simpsons podcast.
Every town needs a symbol to make its mark, something keen to set it above the rest.
New York's got Central Park, and St. Louis has its arch to the west.
St. Louis what now?
Shoot, that hasn't happened yet. It's coming.
That's right, we're the podcast that explores the American animated sitcom The Simpsons from seasons 11 and beyond, and the newest ones when they're available, like this week. Why do we do it like that? Well, an entity known as the Wheel of Random has trapped us and forced us to watch the show in such a manner. Plus, there's plenty of other podcasts to explore the quote-unquote golden age, that being season 1 through 10. I say we because I am one annoyed grunt boy named Steve, and with me, as always, is the other annoyed grunt boy,
Craig.
Hey, Craig, how's it going this week?
You know, I think it's going all right. How about you?
I'm doing all right. It's another week, and the time just keeps on slipping into the future. As the great philosopher Stephen Miller once said, not that Stephen Miller, the good one. And it makes me think about this week's episode is about time travel, and I just wanted to talk about our favorite time travel intellectual properties. What are some of the time travel shows or movies that you've enjoyed throughout time, as it were?
I think time travel has always been kind of my favorite genre or trope. Would you call that a trope? Yeah. Look, besides The Simpsons, I've probably said it before on this podcast, but my favorite TV show growing up was Quantum Leap, and there's a reference of Quantum Leap in this episode. I mean, there might be. I don't know. We haven't watched it yet.
Of course.
The Back to the Future trilogy. And let's not forget, I love Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home. That was a time travel one. Star Trek First Contact. So, Star Trek has a lot of time travel episodes, so those are always fun. And then, I've said it before in this podcast, and I'll probably say it again. The best time travel story is still Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. So,
yeah.
I don't know, time travel, it's just that, we all, lay in bed sometimes at night, we can't sleep, and we think, man, if I could go back in time and change that one thing that I did in the past because I was dumb, everyone's done something stupid, says something stupid, go back and change it, Back to the Future. I just wish I could go back in time and hook up with my mom.
Exactly. Who doesn't wish that? Everybody wants to hook up with your mom.
How about you? What are your time travel, favorites?
Probably my favorite intellectual property is the Bill and Ted series. I know the second one didn't exactly go through time, they went through hell, but that was always fun. I really enjoyed the fact that in the Harry Potter universe, Hermione has the power to travel through time, and she only uses it once, ever. And yeah, I think that Back to the Future is obviously classic. Now, would you consider Groundhog Day to be a time travel movie?
I think it's because you're just stuck on that one day, which is you're in purgatory. You're in a hell.
Mm-hmm.
If you knew you were coming out of it, if you had a finite time, Bill Murray obviously doesn't know that, and that's not how that works. But yeah, it's a great movie, but it just seems I don't know if I'd want to repeat the same day over and over again. Because at least he can have those adventures. He's got a job. What if it was just a Sunday, and you didn't have to go to work, and you're just home and I'll sleep in and binge watch a TV show or a movie and eat some takeout, and that's your day. You wake up and you have to repeat the same day. What are you going to do, Steve? Are you going to, okay, well, I guess I've done this before, so now I'm going to drive somewhere, go somewhere, and climb a mountain? I don't know.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, that's true. I'd probably just get really bored with life, and, I'm already bored with life, so I don't need, I don't need magic to help with that.
Are you just going to attempt everything? You can't rob a bank, because you're not going to get that money, so who cares?
Right, and you buy anything and it's gone the next day, because the next day is the beginning of this day.
There's no way that you can, on that one day that you repeat, cheat on your wife, when you would never do that, but, well, I guess I can. No one's going to, have sex with you, Steve, after you meet them.
That's a fair point. Yeah, so Groundhog Day is out, I guess.
Andy McDowell's not going to sleep with you, Steve. Let's give it up.
Okay, how about Margaret Qualley?
No, she won't either.
No.
This week's episode, I think is kind of interesting because it deals with that Rian Johnson movie, Looper, which is another great time travel movie. I don't know if you've ever seen Looper, but this is great. Great movie, Looper.
What? I wasn't, sorry. Engineer Milo was saying something. I wasn't really paying attention, but I'm sure it doesn't matter.
Oh, your cat?
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. That's fine. Let's just get on with this week's episode, Steve.
Today we're talking about the Fast and Furious, the 14th episode of the 36 season in which Lisa travels back in time to 1923 and discovers that the Springfield Mini Moose, once key to the town's ecosystem, were driven out to extinction in 1925. So she teams up with a young Monty Burns to save the moose, but her actions unintentionally shape the future as he becomes a ruthless tycoon. Oh boy.
Oh boy is what Sam Beckett said on Quantum Leap.
That's why I said it, I think. Alrighty, let's give it a watch, and we'll be right back.
Paris has got its Eiffel Tower, Mount Olympus has its Zeus.
London Bridge gives London power, and Springfield's got the Mini Moose.
I guess they do make our town unique.
Don't kill our moosey mascots like they're some kind of threat. Give them lots of cuddles like they're your favorite pet.
I'm charmed by their vacant stares and high-pitched flatulence.
And we're back. Today we're talking about The Fast and the Furious, the 14th episode of the 36th season, and the second Disney Plus exclusive episode after O Come All Ye Faithful. It is episode 782 in the show's run. It originally aired on February 12th, 2025. Your nerd code is 35ABF1. It was written by Rob LaZebnik, directed by Michael Frank Polcino, and your showrunners are Rob LaZebnik, Matt Selman, and Al Jean.
So this was the first episode for the season 35 production?
That's what it looks like, yeah, which is interesting.
Yeah, Robbie LaZebnik. I feel like we've just talked about him, and of course his son Johnny, who's also a writer. But this is just a straight up Rob. Johnny's not involved, right?
Yeah, Johnny is more into the kids' shows. I mean, it only appeared a couple times, but yeah, this is the latest from Rob, and we've done 16 of the 20 episodes that he has written, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, here's the ones we haven't done, Steve. I'm not going to list off the ones we have done, because you can just figure out yourself, guys.
Yeah.
We still haven't done Father Knows Worst from season 20, or from season 21, Boy Meets Curl. What about The Girl Code from season 27, or E My Sports from season 30? Let's not forget Frink Coin from season 31, and Burger Kings from a season. That's not written here on the notes.
Yes.
I'm assuming something from 32 and beyond.
And actually, I think we did review it.
So we did review that one, because I already listed off 4 episodes. No, 5.
Yeah. Who does these notes?
Okay.
They're idiots.
Yeah, I had Burger King the other night.
How was it?
It's fine. I just had a Whopper of a time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to sound like a fat ass, even though I am, but then I had a Long Boy, which of course is the long chicken sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have a Long Boy,
Oh yeah, I mean, it is amazing in its mediocrity, but it tastes exactly like it should. So yeah.
Right. It's just mayonnaise, the chicken, and lettuce.
Mm-hmm.
Not even like the deluxe version with, I think they had a tomato, and that's about it.
Yeah, and then they tried to be fancy with I think they did a marinara version and maybe a barbecue version. But no, you just need the basic classic Long Boy.
I've had more Burger King in the past year, twice, than I've had McDonald's. I don't know when the last time I had a McDonald's. I feel like it was pre-pandemic, because I know I never. Yeah, so it's probably been 6 years since I've had a McDonald's in my stomach.
Really? I have a McDonald's milkshake in my stomach as we record.
You live in the land of really good milkshakes. Anywhere. McDonald's milkshakes are the worst.
They are, but they're also McDonald's the worst. This is why McDonald's works, is because they make things that taste like McDonald's. And so you associate it with that, and so you have memories. A chicken McNugget is great because it tastes like a McNugget, but it doesn't taste like chicken. It just tastes like a McNugget. Their fries, while voted most popular, don't taste like French fries. They taste like McDonald's fries. They do this weird thing where they redefine what the food is, so you think of it as their food.
This is interesting talk, Steve. I think we should start a fast food podcast.
The annoyed grunt boys talk about food?
But I don't think we should ever do an episode about McDonald's. That's just too sacred for you.
Yeah, that will be our last episode, if we can get somebody big.
Conan O'Brien.
Exactly.
Speaking of big, I don't want to have to date this episode, Steve, but we're about to do the Lady Gaga episode because she was available for interviews for her new album, but she was like, oh, I can't do it that day because I got to eat chicken wings, and so she did the hot ones instead of this podcast.
Once again, that guy with such a good personality has taken another interview from us.
Yeah. He took Conan.
Mm-hmm.
Now Lady Gaga.
Man.
Look, we can eat chicken wings too and ask questions.
I mean, not at the same time, but like, we can do 2 separate records.
We can use Wikipedia to find information about our guests.
Yeah, and then ask like a 14-part question about their childhood and been like, what do you think?
Well, they're like trying not to die.
Yeah.
We should do Russian roulette YouTube podcast where...
You had me at Russian roulette.
All right, see, let's just get on with this week's episode, okay?
Alrighty, our episode begins, as it always does, with the menu of streaming platform Woohoo, which looks an awful lot like Hulu. It's the All Simpsons streamer, which offers collections such as...
Homer's New Jobs, featuring Ice Cream of Margie with the light blue hair.
Bart's Girlfriends, featuring Bart's Girlfriend.
Lisa the Misfits, featuring the Hateful 8-Year-Olds.
Social Commentary, 5 Years Too Late, featuring My Sports, an aforementioned Rob LaZebnik joint.
Fan Infuriators, featuring That 90s Show.
Marriage Trouble, this must be a short list, featuring Steal This Episode.
Obscure Holiday, featuring Whacking Day.
Emmy Losers, featuring Bart Hood.
Inaccurate Predictions, featuring Lisa's Wedding.
Two-parters, But Why, featuring Warren Priest, or, let's say, The Great Gatsby.
And Alternate Realities, featuring The Simpsons. Now, I would like this feature on, I know they're making a Hulu joke, but on Disney Plus, it'd be nice to have all of these wacky categories of episodes.
Oh yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. Also, just still, Disney Plus, make a random button. That's all I want, is just play me anything. I don't care what season, just play something on a loop. That'd be great. But yeah, categorize ones with this specific, like FXX used to do, or maybe they still do, I don't know.
Yeah, the FXX will have sometimes like on weekends, like themed marathons, like a football marathon, or, depending on like what's kind of happening in the zeitgeist. Like when it's like during Super Bowl time, like they'll have like a football marathon. But yeah, which one are you picking, Steve?
I do like the Lisa the Misfits, because I always enjoy a Lisa episode, which we're about to enjoy today, or not enjoy, we'll see. I can skip past the troubled marriage ones, because I feel like we've explored that. And I'm tired of the discourse about The Simpsons predicting things, so I'd like to skip that one altogether. What about you, Craig?
I think you're right. The Lisa the Misfits is great, and just because sometimes I hate myself, I'll watch the Fan Infuriators episodes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I always try to watch those again to find some good, and we've talked about that 90s show before, I believe our 90th episode, and it's not that bad of an episode.
Right, and I think that so many of the quote-unquote horrible episodes that people love to disparage are actually better than they expect them to be, or better than we remember them. It's just, we have jaded eyes when we first see them.
And we've talked about the one where they go to Florida.
We love that one.
We love that episode, and it's considered one of the worst.
Yeah.
So an unknown viewer right now is selecting the alternate realities subchannel, scrolling past the episodes of Prime Minister Bart, Swedish Simpsons, but it's like Swedish, SJIMPSONS. So it's the spelling wise, Steve, is funny.
Yeah.
Marge marries Flanders, which, hey, we came up with that idea.
Yep.
And then the Simpsons go to Kang and Kodo's planet. Then the mouse, no, not the Disney mouse, just the computer mouse, clicks on this week's episode, The Fast and the Furious. Which episode of the alternate realities, real quick?
I want to see Swedish Simpsons. I like the Swedish culture. It's a very clean design. They seem to be very happy people. So I like to see what the Simpsons. And, blue and yellow, that's their flag color. And, that's Bart and his shorts.
Right. Or the off-brand, or sometimes they can't put Bart in the red shirt and blue shorts on t-shirts, so it's the blue and blue.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to go with Marge marries Flanders just to see how they would do it compared to how I would have done it. So there you go.
I like it. In a gray and bleak Springfield, a camera zooms it down the town square as a distorted chorus is heard singing The Simpsons. On the side of the road sits a wall marked the Springfield non-botanical hellscape, graffito tagged by vandalizing artists such as Deputy Dog, Stinky, Little Armpit, and the ever-mysterious El Barto. It is here that Lisa addresses her fellow heartbroken environmentalists, who are all eager to find a place in town where anything can grow.
Lisa is hopeful that she found the spot where flora could flourish, optimistic of the oil-stained Fury Road. She shows the earth-minded crowd a single daisy that has emerged from the concrete, suggesting the possibility of nature growing where humankind has taken over. Sadly, the joy of the environmentalist is crushed, much like the daisy, which meets the stomping foot of one C. Montgomery Burns. Lisa is distraught, but a helpful therapist appears, offering her services.
Don't know you don't. I own this land, and I decide what grows here. Nothing.
It was just a daisy.
Now disperse, you tree-smooching trespassers, unless you're staying for tonight's Hobel Philharmonic.
Spoon section? On the downbeat, am I hearing a fork?
Why even try to plant flowers? In this hideous town, there's no point to anything. Poor Lisa.
There's nothing harder than when your kid's so depressed it slightly bums you out.
Excuse me, I couldn't help it over here. I'm a child therapist who specializes in ecological melancholy.
Ooh, fun job.
I just love how random characters just show up
Yeah.
to help plot. Like, that doesn't happen in real life.
No, it would be like, oh man, my car broke down. Hi, I'm a mechanic, I can help you. Like, that would be really cool.
Yeah. The setting of the gray bleakness of Springfield right now is very depressing.
It is, and it weirdly reminds me of Terminator 2. I think it's because I just remember the NES game that I'd rent from Hollywood Video, and there was a scene where you as John Connors, I think, ride a motorcycle down the LA roadway that looks a lot like that, and I think that's what I'm remembering, but it was good times.
It just reminds me of our area, the gray, and
Oh yeah, that's true too.
during this time of the year. Fall to summer.
And then there's like a couple days of sun, and then from spring until winter.
Well, Steve, we head to the Aubrey Medical Plaza, which features reattachment to eye roll injuries regarding ironic detachment. Come on, Simpsons, a little too soon to make an Aubrey Plaza joke, right?
Yeah, come on, poor taste.
We're not even that heartless to make a joke.
No, that would be horrible if we did.
So in the therapist's office, Lisa offers a simple cure for her depression. Fix this horrible world. So full of angst and sarcasm, Lisa says that no one can make a difference. Homer begs Lisa to remain hopeful, thinking that maybe there's a new high-tech therapy that Lisa has yet to try. Sure, AI is destroying everyone else's career, but perhaps it can hollow out the work of a therapist.
Well, the medical professional assures Homer that artificial intelligence won't affect her practice until far, far into next month. She then informs Lisa about her recent success with EMDR stimulators. So the doctor hands Lisa 2 oval objects, instructing her to hold the tappers in her hand as they pulse gently, with the intention of helping the brain process negative thoughts. Some patients are even sent to a hypnogenic state.
Lisa is skeptical, saying that her brains will need something a bit more sophisticated than a couple of table buzzers from TGI before she can say the blessed day of the fast casual chain. Therapist activates the tappers, causing them to vibrate. Lisa then is transported to the stage of the Jumping Jazz Club. As she tries to orient herself, she comments that she's experienced some good hypnosia.
Backstage, the host of the jazz club is stressed because it appears that his sax player is out of commission. It seems that the performer mixed up his sugar and his opium. We then see the sax player passed out, holding a giant lollipop, suffering from the worst sugar allergy the host has ever seen. It's a really funny joke. Needing a saxophonist immediately, the host points to Lisa, but calls her Edith, hoping that she can fill in.
Steve, have you ever mixed your sugar and opium?
I keep them clearly marked as Daddy's Yum Yum Sugar and Sugar.
It's funny that they make the joke of the sugar and then the opium, because do you remember that episode where it was like 3 stories of love?
Oh, yeah.
And one was the Sid Vicious, and they, instead of doing drugs, they were doing candy.
Yeah, it is kind of like, yeah, it is funny.
Wow. Lisa looks into the mirror to discover her new identity as 20s flapper, and remarks that her dream is Primo, Louis Primo. She goes with the flow, grabbing the instrument of the heroin addict who finds himself in a sugar coma. And Lisa plays with the band as the host introduces the vocalist for the evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, you love him. He's the bee's knees who sings to please, Monty B.
What?
Well, the coolest guy in the present is me, and by present I mean 1923. I'm known as the kindest cat around. I give money to the poor and walk my friendly hounds. Burnsy, 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 Burns. That's the name you gotta learn.
Are you Mr. Burns?
Mr. Burns? That's my watch-winding, ledger-loving papa. I'm Monty B. Now let's get this joint jumping.
So did Harry Shearer record this and then they sped up his voice, raised the pitch?
That is one option that they could have done, but no. That is the star of Third Rock from the Sun, Angels in the Outfield, Quantum Leap Season 4, Episode 5, Permanent Wave, which is actually relevant, 500 Days of Summer, and 50/50. And other non-numerical works. That's Joseph Gordon-Levitt as the young Monty Burns.
You mean Robin from the Dark Knight trilogy?
The very same. And presumably the Robin trilogy that never happened.
You mean past Bruce Willis and Looper?
Yes, the Brick himself. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Because he's in that movie, Brick.
Right. He was in high school and had to drive his girlfriend to get an abortion.
Yes.
Oh wait, that's that Ben Folds song.
Yeah, no, it was Ryan Johnson's first movie.
Oh, the Looper guy.
Exactly.
Oh, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He played that one alien in the casino in Last Jedi.
Exactly.
You know, honestly, I didn't know Joseph Gordon-Levitt was in this, and I could just watch the credits at the end of the episode, but I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly thought it was is that just a high-pitched up Harry Shearer?
I mean, I think that he does a really good job because he does do a good Burns.
Yeah.
And I think that, listen, I know that there's been a lot of discourse about the actors and their voices and how they feel a little strained. I would say that Harry Shearer's is the most recognizably different in my ears. I think Marge is basically fine. And I think Julie's doing a great job. They're all doing a great job, but I think that Harry's voice is the one that sounds the most strained. And so I think this taking a little bit of a load off of his voice and, adding a difference makes it kind of nice.
Yeah. But we like Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He's one of those few child stars, I think, that, I mean, again, we don't know him personally in his personal life, but just who he is, as a public persona, seems like he's well-rounded and grew up normal
yeah,
not crazy.
Yeah, he never had a little controversy. I was mad at him when he dated Larissa Olnek because I had a crush on her when I was a teen. But other than that, he's fine. Alex Mack.
Oh.
She played his girlfriend in Third Rock from the Sun, and then they started dating in real life.
He's one of our contemporaries, Steve. Aren't we the same age as him?
I think so, yeah. So we are the same.
He got to be Robin and not me.
Yes.
I just did an audition that when they were doing auditions, so.
Yeah, I mean, if you would have tried out, you would have got it, I'm sure.
Look, I send video cassette tapes to Christopher Nolan all the time, and I never hear back from him.
Are they actual videotapes of you, or are you just sending them, copies of The Great Outdoors and Uncle Buck?
A little of both. I'm doing auditions, I do monologues. I did a great one of Heath Ledger's Joker. And I, made it and said, hey, I could be the Joker too. And it wasn't embarrassing.
Yeah, of course not.
I don't think anyone who isn't Heath Ledger, putting a tape of themselves doing a Heath Ledger Joker, that's not embarrassing at all, right?
Not at all. That's completely, it's completely normal and not sad or embarrassing at all.
All right, okay. Just making sure.
Yeah.
Well, Steve, after the vibrant trumpet solo from Monty, Lisa steps out of the jazz club, commenting that her subconscious is working overtime. She then asks a man nearby why the establishment she just performed in is called the Little Moose Club. And the man, who's the rich Texan, explains that the club is named due to all those little pint-sized moose running around town. He then kicks a parked automobile, resulting in several of those little adorable antler moose to scurry from underneath the car.
So Lisa hugs one of the miniature bullwinkles, overwhelmed by their cuteness. They are pretty cute. The rich Texan warns Lisa that though they look sweet, the mooses, or meese, are hated by the community, and Wiggum joins the conversation, adding that the moose fur causes everyone to sneeze. They're the perfect height to trip over, and they all bellow off-key. And so as the tiny beasts let out a tone that is tone-deaf, Clancy goes on to say that they are terrible pests who get into everything.
While a couple of the mini moose, or mini meese, devour the contents of a hot dog stand, Wiggum points out the town has declared open season on killing them, pointing to a billboard that says, if you see it, kick it, and showing a man with a fedora and a pencil mustache doing just that, kicking a small moose into the air. Now, Steve, I know we're going to talk about it, but they are very cute.
Mm-hmm.
And if you had your way, if you got to be God for a day, or just wished upon an animal to be a pint size like that, which would it be?
I mean, you gotta go with a bear. Tiny bear. You gotta love a tiny bear.
I thought you meant like that very funny show that's on FXX.
Yes, I want a tiny Jeremy Allen White.
Yes, chef. Yes, chef. Behind.
And kick and say, be funny.
Yeah. Make jokes.
Not sad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, you used scissors to cut masking tape. Good job. You're important.
Yeah, the bear. I mean, I think the elephant is a great choice.
Yeah, that would be good because every time you invited him over to a place, somebody could be like, not to mention the elephant in the room, and it'd be good.
What about like, I don't want to, it's bad to have things in captivity, but like a blue whale or like a humpback whale, like in your own like little personal fish tank.
Yeah, I mean, I would love an otter. I've been really into otters lately. They're pretty adorable.
They're small enough, you could probably just kidnap one on the river here. We have otters all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah.
Giraffe, I think, is a good option.
Ooh, yeah.
But yeah, like a polar bear, a grizzly bear. Like you wouldn't worry about like it's not going to kill you.
No, just like gnaw on your arm a little bit. It'd be cute.
I have a baby that does that, so it's similar.
But imagine if you had a tiny bear, she'd have a playmate.
Yeah. They could raise each other.
Mm-hmm. Take some load off you.
All right, that was our fun conversation. I mean, this moose is cute too, but Steve's going with bear, and I think I'm going with giraffe.
I like giraffe. That's a great choice. So Lisa is shocked, but is soon distracted by Monty, who compliments her performance, saying that if they jammed any harder, they would have marmalade. Again, another cute bear, Paddington. Lisa is surprised by the kind words, saying that she enjoys the young dream version of Burns. Monty replies that though Lisa may be a little off for onions, he likes her company as well. Monty suggests that they remember their encounter by eroding the cement work of an Irish fellow.
So after Irish Stew says that he gets no respect, Monty uses a drumstick to draw his initials into the wet cement. Lisa is usually opposed to such vandalism, but since she's in a dream, she goes for it, drawing a saxophone under the MB, written by Monty. She then notices a mini moose, who shakes its fur, causing dander to fly in the air. This causes Lisa to sneeze, sending her back to present day.
The sneeze woke me up. Whoa, I had the wildest dream.
Lisa, I want you to take these tappers home. Write down what happens in your dreams so we can analyze them.
It seemed like I'd gone back in time, but obviously that's crazy.
Don't say that, sweetie. Crazy is not a word we use in our family.
$12 for parking? What kind of crazy office is this? Lady, you're crazier than Lisa, and she's crazy. To summarize, can I borrow $12? And if you think I'm going to pay you back, you're crazy. Like Lisa.
That's fun.
Yeah, just the idea of Marge trying to hold that word back because she hears it all the time because of Bart, probably.
Mm-hmm.
And like Bart, like, I'm crazy. Like, no, you're not. Don't use that word. And Homer coming in is great.
Yeah, it's good. Like, Homer doesn't have like a whole lot in this episode, but like he gets to shine a little bit. And that's one of those times. So that was fun. Back at home, Lisa writes in her dream journal, struck by how lasting her vision of the past was. So she uses her tablet to see what old Springfield was like, scrolling through historical photos from the 20s, featuring gazebos, pergolas, and even pavilions. She then swipes to reveal the Little Moose Club, just like the one she played at in her dream. Surprised to learn that the nightclub was real, she looks through the photos of the club, finding one of her alter ego, Edith, playing alongside Monty Burns.
Have you ever done that? Like, just gone on the internet and looked at old photos of Portland or just the town you grew up in, just seeing what everything looked like?
I do. Like, I've done that a couple times. Like, it's funny to see, like, main streets, like, for us, like, Burnside or busy streets now, and to see them, like, in the 20s, to see, like, them being nothing.
Yeah.
But you can see, like, the skeletal work of what they will become. And also, local chain Fred Meyer, that is now Kroger, it's kind of fun because they used to be around here pretty prevalently, but like more as like a fruit stand mom and pop type shop before they were bought out by an evil corporation.
And like before our time, only like maybe, I think it was like in the 40s, like there used to be a city here called Vanport.
Oh.
and it's never talked about much, but it a flood took down a whole city.
Wow.
And it's gone now. Yeah. Like in 48. So if you look up Vanport, yeah, it was like on the Columbia River. It's gone now. There's no town Vanport anymore.
Sad.
Yeah. Well, what are you going to do, Steve?
I'm going to bring it back.
It was called Vanport or Kaiserville.
I'm sure we'll have a Kaiserville here pretty soon.
It is fun to look at old pictures from the past.
Well, I mean, most photos are from the past.
I like to look at future photos, Steve.
What the hell kind of camera is that?
Lisa runs downstairs to share her findings with Homer and Marge. Seeing the picture, Homer says that Edith was Lisa's great-grandmother. Marge chimes in, adding that Edith was a flapper. Maybe she says it like a whisper, like she's embarrassed. Lisa doesn't understand how she could have known to portray Edith in her dream. But Marge suggests the simple solution of Lisa seeing a picture of Edith in an old photo album, which lasted in her subconscious. And Homer finds this reasoning to be solid.
Yep, that's one of the dream laws enforced by the Dream Police.
That's just a record by Cheap Trick.
Oh, Cheap Trick is your answer to everything.
It all just felt so real. But yeah, I mean, a young, cool, jazz-singing Mr. Burns, I just gotta surrender to my overactive imagination.
Surrender, surrender, but don't give yourself away. Hey.
When she said surrender, did you start singing surrender before Homer?
Yeah, I did. It was fun. It's a good song.
What does that mean, Cheap Trick's your answer to everything? What does Marge say? Were they driving down Skid Row and Homer's like, ooh, look at that lady in that short dress over there. And Marge's like, yeah, it's just a Cheap Trick.
And she probably sings that when she's tucking Maggie in, she's like, Mommy's all right, Daddy's all right. We just seem a little weird.
She sings it, he's just had a little beer.
And then she's like, to Homer every night before they go to bed, I want you to want me.
And there's a crowd cheering in the background. Woo!
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, that's right, I'm live at Budokan. So Lisa walks by Moe's Tavern, where outside Barney lays on the ground, muttering about how he was once the Plow King, and he also owned a plowing business. Lisa checks to see if the town drunk is alright, but as Mr. Gumble rolls over, Lisa finds that Monty's initials, along with the drawing of her sacks, are in the cement, which she drew a century ago. Lisa realizes that she wasn't dreaming, and that she actually traveled through time. And Barney wakes up just long enough to explain that he also traveled through time, passing on Tuesday, only to wake up in Wednesday. But Lisa points out that it's actually Friday, and this relieves Barney, since he can sleep in on the following day.
What, no one hires balloons on Saturdays?
And nobody needs, babies to hand out flyers. And he also works at the bowling alley.
Does he still work at the bowling alley?
I mean, probably not anymore, but...
And it's Friday, that's drinking night, and then Saturday's probably another drinking night, so...
Mm-hmm.
He probably get to work drinking, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and it's going to be Tuesday before you know it, so you can get drunk again.
Well, Steve, that evening in the kitchen of 742 Evergreen Terrace, Lisa excitedly explains how the tapper sent her consciousness back in time into the body of her ancestor, into a jazz club that was located where Moe's now sits. So she adds that there were tiny moose there, and Mr. Burns was cool, and she walks away singing about Burnsy. Bart comments that even when she's going nuts, Lisa is nerdy, adding that when his mental health falters, it'll be on the news.
So worried about her daughter, Marge looks to a higher power for answers, while Lisa seeks assistance from a person who deals only in hard, scientific facts. Mostly.
Boy, I don't know. We've got to find a way to get her mind out of this silly world of magic and make-believe. Dear God, invisible creator of all things, please use your superpowers to help my daughter.
And a pizza oven.
After a decade of work, I finally succeeded. The perfect Arnold Palmer.
Excuse me, Professor. You're the only person I can talk to about this.
Oh, well, please have a seat. If you can wait 6 hours, I can make you an Arnold Palmer.
Professor, I think I traveled back through time into the body of my ancestor.
Lisa, I am a man of science, so I have to dismiss that kind of tomfoolery. But I am also a man of science fiction, so make like a petri and dish. Your experience most resembles a quantum leap, minus the Scott-baculations.
But why is this happening?
Well, it's quite obvious the universe must want you to accomplish something in the past.
Oh, accomplish something in the past? I can't even get a flower to grow in the present.
All right, Steve, what's the perfect Arnold Palmer recipe?
Oh boy. I would say a little bit of iced tea and a little bit of lemonade.
From allrecipes.com, it says 1 cup of ice. 5 fluid ounces of prepared lemonade, Steve. Make sure it's prepared.
Mm-hmm.
So don't mix the lemonade in the glass first, but prepare it.
Right.
And then 5 fluid ounces of prepared iced tea. Oh, there's one more step. Arnold Palmer has to use his huge hog to stir it.
Yeah, of course.
I've always said that I think it should be 7.5 ounces of iced tea and 2.5 ounces of lemonade, Steve.
Oh, I like this. The Craig Palmer.
Yep, I'm the one who invented it. And no other annoyed grump boy.
That's right, it's all you.
I'm not actually a fan of Arnold Palmer because I don't really like iced tea, Steve. So what are you going to do about it?
I also am not a fan of iced tea. Like, when I have iced tea, I suck it down so quickly, I don't even realize it was there. Anytime I've ever had iced tea, it's either way too sweet or it's not sweet enough. And I just drink it really quickly, and I'm just like, oh, this is just a pea factory now.
And you'll get kidney stones from it.
Yes. Let's just drink hot coffee. That's all I ever want.
Like, I love Southern food, but, like, I know, like, sweet tea is, like, a thing in the South. It's, like, you know, one of their drinks, but, like, I can't have a sweet tea. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not putting my tea in the sun either. I don't know. It's not a tea dude. I like hot tea just fine.
Yeah.
But, again, I'm not into cold tea. It's like much way like iced coffee. Although, you know, I've turned around since iced coffee. I'm fine with it now. Because it is another, like, sugar injector.
Yeah, it can be.
It can be. No, because I've just done cream. Like, you know, like sugar-free creams and stuff like that. I've been fine with it. So, I don't know. This isn't the iced tea podcast yet.
No, when we start covering Law & Order SVU, then it'll be the iced tea podcast.
Oh, and in that clip there, they make a Quantum Leap reference, which, of course, we've already made the Quantum Leap reference.
Yes, I thought you'd appreciate that, though, as you are a fan of the Baculus and whatnot.
And I enjoyed that episode of that Joseph Gordon-Levitt was in.
Nice. What did Sam leapt into in that episode?
Yes, I can explain the entire plot. Do you want me to?
Please, yes.
Okay, well, he leaps into the 80s, which was kind of a rare thing, because I was too present. A lot of times he never really was close to the present, but it was an episode in the 80s. He played a hairdresser who he's dating a woman with a kid. Kid, of course, is Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And the kid, I think he's got like a cast on his leg in the episode, so he's kind of like not mobile. And someone's trying to kill him and his mom. I think mostly his mom. So then Sam has to like make sure that doesn't happen and figure out who's trying to kill him in the process.
Wow.
And then spoilers, Sam saves the day.
Nice.
And the character that he leaps into, the hairdresser, ends up marrying his girlfriend, and he becomes Joseph Gordon-Levitt's stepfather. And
wow.
Yeah. So now you don't have to watch it.
Hey, yeah, saved me 42 minutes. Nice. So after contemplating the situation for a moment, Professor Frink asked Lisa if she noticed anything different or unusual about Old Springfield. And after Lisa mentions the Mini Moose, Frink calls to go to the Internet Mobile, opening his laptop and going clickety-clickety and clack, playing a black and white newsreel describing the Mini Mooses of Springfield and how they went extinct in 1925, shortly after Lisa's visit.
So the video goes on to say that the moose were vulnerable creatures who were probably the region's keystone species. The display shows that once the moose were removed, the delicate triangle of Springfield's ecosystem collapsed as well. Thinking that this was the cause of the concrete hellscape that they now live in, Lisa deduces that her mission is to save the moose, thereby saving Springfield.
Save the girl, save the world. So Lisa knows that she needs to go back in time. She takes a sip of Frink's Arnold Palmer and declares it to be a bit sweet. So this causes Frink to smash his beverage-making invention to bits with a baseball bat. And Lisa holds her tappers in hand, determined to save the Mini Moose. She then jumps back into the 20s, where she finds herself behind the wheel of a car running over several of the tiny moose that she is looking to save. She tells herself that she needs to save the remaining Mini Moose.
So she walks up to a glass greenhouse, and after appreciating the reflection of her relative and alter ego, she walks in where she finds Monty, tending to some flowers.
Edith, come in. I was just babysitting the kids. Orchids, that is. You know, gardening is a lot like jazz.
Oh, that's it. Well, the flowers are so beautiful.
Thanks. Whenever I feel a rage coming on, I visit my greenhouse and it calms me. It's my gladsome place.
Nice. Mine is a stool behind the water heater in our basement. I read by the pilot light. These are so unusual looking.
Spilotantha Daphne, named after my dear mother, Spilotantha. She bred them. As she was dying, she begged me to take care of them. They're all I have left of her.
Wow, it certainly nails the prominent schnoz.
Yes, she was quite ugly. My family insists that I become a ruthless tycoon, but I just want to sing and grow orchids, like Mother.
Monty, everyone in this town wants to kill all the Mini Moose, but if they die, it'll ruin the town. Will you help me save them?
So Lisa says she goes down to the basement and sits on a stool. Like, she just takes a crap and sits on it.
Yes, which is stinky because it's right next to the pilot light, so it's also hot and melty stool.
Gross, Lisa. Don't sit in your own shit.
Yeah, you got toilets for that. That joke, it's a classic joke, but like, it's the flowers named after my mother. Spilothanthia Daphne. Because her, Daphne's the obvious. That's good stuff. And I also like that they all agree that Monty's mother was horribly ugly.
Okay, this is technically not a canon episode because it's an alternate reality, but
right.
We've seen her. And she's still alive, technically, right?
Yes, she is, and yeah.
And when Homer had to become Homer the Smithers, right? Was it that episode where she was on? Yeah, that's a great episode that we can never review.
That's true. So Burns considers Lisa's predicament, wondering if he should assist the mini morons. He then cuts to the club, where Lisa, Monty, and the band have a new song about the endangered mascots of Springfield. In the crowd, Lenny asks about a previous hit tune entitled Mini Moose Mama, Let's Kill You Tonight. And Lisa thinks that her new song will be even better than that one.
Monty croons about how the town needs a landmark to make it stand out, and Lisa chimes in, pointing out Central Park in New York and the St. Louis Arch. And the audience, relative of Flanders, is confused, making it realize that the arch hasn't been built yet. By the way, the construction of the arch would begin 40 years later, opened to the public in 1965. So they go on to sing about the Eiffel Tower, Zeus on Mount Olympus, and London power provided by the London Tower, adding their own town as the Mini Moose.
So, as Luann Van Houten, or a relative of her, suggests that the antlered creature make their own town unique, Burton begs the people not to kill their moosey mascots. Rather than considering them a threat, consider giving them a lot of cuddles, as if they were a beloved pet. Quimby joins in, sharing that he is charmed by their vacant stares and high-pitched flatulence. That's what my wife was drawn to me also, is my vacant stares and my high-pitched flatulence. But once the song proves to be successful, Lisa feels that they should wrap it up and get to work. Back in the present day, Lisa learns the results of her efforts.
So instead of kicking, how about going patty, 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 pat? Patty, 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 pat.
Scritchy, scratch, scritchy, scratch.
Scritchy, scratch, scritchy, scratch.
We're all convinced now so you can stop the song.
We're all convinced now so you can stop the song.
Let's go, little mooses.
Monty, we did it. We've created a Mini Moose sanctuary.
My eyes are tearing up with emotion, and from all the moose dander.
Professor, I think I did it. I saved our keystone species. So Springfield should now be a lush, verdant wonderland. No! What happened? I didn't change anything. I could never change anything.
Well, no, you did do something. The Mini Moose did not die out in 1925.
Really?
Now they died out in 1923.
No. I accelerated their extinction?
Bad Lisa.
Bad Lisa. Two things about that clip, specifically the song. One, I like the fact that when the crowd starts to sing in, that's how you know, when you're singing a song to convince people to do something, and the rest of the crowd starts singing, that's when you know you can end the song. So I like that line about, okay, we got everybody be on board, so we can stop. Also, every time they say Mini Moose after that song, I just think about Minnie the Moocher.
I think that's the point.
Yeah, I know. But I just wonder, like, the one-to-one thinking about that is like, they're like, okay, we need a Jazz Age episode, something like Minnie the Moocher, and like, somebody's like, Minnie the Moose. I'm like, okay, let's go to lunch.
Yeah, think of like a Like a dog's name, like Poochie, but, something else.
Poochie. Sounds good.
Lisa is eager to go back in time, but just then, Marge and Homer appear. Marge holding Lisa's dream journal. When she asks Marge if she read the journal, Marge says that as a mother, diaries are like crack to her. How do you know, Marge, what crack is like? Have you done crack?
Maybe in her 20s.
Hoping she won't interpret it in the wrong way, Homer tells Lisa that he and Marge think that she has gone completely wackadoodle.
Well, Lisa is resolute that she hasn't gone remotely wackadoodle, pointing out that she has literal, concrete proof of going back in time. She's eager to show her parents proof of her travel, but Marge takes the tappers away from Lisa, hiding them in her hair. Lisa begs, saying that she needs the devices to save Springfield, but as Homer puts it, nothing leaves the hive.
So in order to save the town from being doomed to be as bad as it currently is, Lisa needs to find another set of dream-inducing tappers. She asks herself, who would be in therapy more frequently than her, and quickly has her answer. So she visits Millhouse, who has a whole slew of mental health instruments. They may not be what Lisa needs, but she soon finds out what she's looking for.
Transcranial magnets, vagus nerve activators, AC and DC stimulators, and therapy dog.
He does seem comforting, but I need the tappers.
You can soothe me anytime, Waggles. Ow!
My tappers! Where'd you get them?
Mom fell asleep eating some gummies, so I went through her hair looking for my burp gun, and I found these.
Thank you, Bart. You're the only one who believes these sent me back in time.
Wrong. When they ship you to the funny farm, I get 2 rooms.
I don't know what really killed all the Mini Moose, but I'm gonna stop it.
I like how Marge is modern. She's a modern mom by taking weed gummies.
I mean, if I was surrounded by that family, and, I was kind of responsible for them, I'd want to be high, too. So, good on Marge.
You mean that crazy family?
We don't use crazy. They're wackadoodle.
But you think Marge actually has the good gummies that have, like, a indica or sativa, or is she just eating the...
Haribo?
Yeah, Haribo.
CBD, I think.
It literally is Haribo.
Yeah, it's like some gummy bears.
Not actually taking actual edibles. I haven't had weed in a long time, Steve, like over a year, so I don't know what that's like.
Yeah, it's been several hours for me as well.
I thought you were about to sing Nothing Compares to You. Like, it's been 7 hours and 15 days. Again, I thought Pamela Hayden was done with Millhouse, and yet here she is.
Yeah, I mean, this was, the season premiere of season 35, presumably.
Right.
Which actually would make sense, because Lisa going back to 1923 would have been 100 years, because the season 1, or the episode 1 would have been October of 2023. So, I mean, that tracks, yeah.
All right, I'll allow it.
All right. Well, back in the 20s, surrounded by the Mini Moose, Lisa, as Edith, calls to her townsfolk, telling them that they are in desperate times. Using a megaphone, Lisa tells her fellow Springfieldians that this is their last chance to save the Mini Moose. But her amplified voice causes a small moose to stampede, crashing into Monty's greenhouse, destroying the plant life inside.
So seeing the orchid dedicated to his mother lying on the ground, Monty screams, saddened that there's not even a stamen left. Lisa offers that they can always grow more, provided Burns saves some seeds. He grimly replies that they only survive in the shadow of their mother plant, much like himself. So as he sobs, one of the moose bites the picture of his mother. Lisa apologizes for what she's done, but the events that just took place shaped Monty into the man we all know and love. Or mostly hate.
If I can never have beauty, neither will Springfield. I will become a tycoon and pave over the entire town. And to make certain that nothing grows, I'll salt the earth, pepper the oceans, and cumin the sky!
No, this can't be happening! Oh my God, Bart, the moose extinction didn't ruin Springfield. I did. I made Mr. Burns evil.
Oh my God, Lisa! This thing also has a fart setting!
Had to end it with a fart joke, Steve.
I did. Well, let's clean it up. Okay, so earlier in that clip, Monty's talking and he's like, I'm gonna salt the earth, pepper the ground, and cum in the sky? What is that?
Yeah, it's like you get bored of pounding off in your house, so you go outside and you lay on your back and you just like, take that, God, and you try to jerk off to see if the cum hits the clouds.
Okay. Because I was like looking at the closed captioning and it said "cum in the sky," so. And
then you were listening to Jimi Hendrix.
Yes. Excuse me while I come in the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the Springfield nuclear power plant, Waylon Smithers pokes his head into the office of Monty Burns, saying that there's a little girl who refuses to let go his leg until he can speak to Monty. Lisa explains her time-traveling discoveries to Monty, performing a song and dance from their time together. So Burns recognizes Lisa as Edith before bragging that he sent the Mini Mooses back to hell, showing off several mounted Mini Moose heads.
Lisa pleads with the goodness inside Burns, asking that he remember the young man who loved flowers. So as she makes her case, Monty is busy on his tablet trying to trapdoor Lisa, Steve's favorite, trapdoors.
Mm-hmm.
Confused by which button to use on his remotorized controller, tapping images on his Agony Smart Dungeon app, Burns accidentally causes a wall to turn, revealing a shirtless Lenny, getting blood extracted under the assumption that he was signing up for the softball team.
It's fine. Monty tells Lisa that he's never smelled a flower in his life before kicking her out of his office. After she leaves, we see that she's left behind the dream journal. So Lisa heads to Section 7G, complaining that it's far too late to change that bitter old monster. She figures she only has one more chance to convince Burns not to destroy Springfield. Sure, the last 2 times she went back, Lisa made things worse, but maybe the 3rd time will be a charm.
So she leaps in a quantum fashion back to the 20s, where Monty is playing a Baroque tune on a piano. And Steve, you know what I always say, if it isn't Baroque, don't fix it.
That's true.
Lisa bluntly lays out her case, saying that she has come from 100 years in the future, where he has grown into a bitter, mean man, ravaging the town's environment. And Monty scoffs, suggesting that Lisa takes some moose oil, which claims on the bottle to stop a woman's hysteria.
In the present day, Mr. Burns enters Homer's workstation, and with Homer fast asleep and Lisa in her time travel stupor, Monty can take the tappers unnoticed. Back in the 20s, the 1920s that is, Burns wonders why he should keep the knuckle-dragging Palookaville that is Springfield beautiful, especially after the destruction of his beloved orchids. So Lisa tries her best to bring out the good-natured Monty, but finds that other forces are controlling him.
But wouldn't beautifying the world make your mother proud?
Mother, maybe it would.
Maybe it wouldn't. Yes, that's right. It's me, Mr. Burns from the future.
How did you get here?
I used your buzzers to zap my old self into my young brain box. Now hear this, young me. The life of a selfish tycoon is beyond compare.
How so?
Through exploitation, war profiteering, and owning the Las Vegas Raiders, you will amass billions.
That does sound possibly excellent.
Yes, you'll have a Picasso in every bathroom, an army of loyal hounds, and command your own Smithers.
Wealth, power, whatever a Smithers is, it's all hard to resist. But still, I feel a profound darkness in my future self. Maybe I should find another path.
I just, listening to that clip, realized that this is a whole Looper thing.
Yeah, Steve.
I didn't think about it until now.
Good.
It's good, yeah. That's fun. That's why they have JGL. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun stuff.
I like how the revelation just came to you. That's good. I'm happy for you.
I can be smart eventually.
Because Looper came out in 2012, so making a 10-year reference, or 9 years, whatever it was when The Simpsons, they make a joke of 5-year references 5 years too late in the beginning, so there you go.
Yeah, it's timely. In that it's a joke about time.
Oh, I just get that joke now.
Whoa.
Lisa tells young Monty that all he has to do is believe that one person can make a difference. So as she finishes that thought, she's woken in the modern day by Homer. She angrily states that she was on the cusp of saving both Burns' soul and the history of the town. So she looks out the window where Blinky, now a 4-eyed fish, jumps against the glass and slides down. Do you think that's a reference that she's changed time?
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
It is. But now you can cut the fish in half and have 2 whole fish.
Well, my favorite part of the fish, of course, is eating the eyes.
Yeah, the eyes are the best part. Monty wakes up, smashes the tappers, and declares victory. He convinced his former self to be his current, older self. He's also warned his younger version not to marry Roseanne Barr, which is always timely not to do, because she's crazy, wackadoodle. Monty kicks his heels and he leaves, and Homer remarks that he has a spring in his step.
Undeterred, Lisa storms away. Homer tells her to remember her dream journal, but she tells him to throw it in the core. Lisa arrives back in front of Moe's, where she once again sees Barney splayed on the ground, saying that he scheduled a wake-up call for 8:15. He rolls over, and next to Monty's initials and the drawing of the sacks is a message that says, "Edith, I left you something in the basement of the joint where we first met." See, I could have taken Joseph Gordon-Levitt's job in this episode.
Absolutely. You said it just like somebody. After seeing the message from Monty B, Lisa runs inside the tavern, eager to get into the basement. So she pours her heart out to Moe, looking for a shred of hope. But Moe, he stops her, saying that he doesn't care about her internal struggle, and simply points to the open basement stairs.
So among the love tester, a jar of expired pickle eggs, and signs for Moe's family feed bag, Moe's gay bar, and Moe's ice cream carnival, Lisa finds an old metal box with a moose on it. And she opens it up to find a letter from Monty that says, "My friend, I've made my choice, but I had one last bit of good in my heart." You want me to stop?
No, I don't.
Fine, I'm almost done. "So I had to purge myself of it." See? Again, take that, Joseph.
Mm-hmm.
He goes on to say that he has left Lisa a couple remaining orchid seeds, and once she's sold the enclosed priceless Tiffany lamp, she'll have funding for a beautiful park.
So Lisa looks inside, only to find that the once priceless lamp has been broken into several pieces. The letter goes on to state that the lamp should be safe, as it is packed in worthless baseball cards found in tobacco packets. So Lisa sees the cards for Babe Ruth, Honus Wagner, and racist Ty Cobb, and knows that she has found a fortune in her hand. So she thanks the jazz-age Monty, shedding a single tear.
A year later, Lisa's watering an orchid in a verdant park, and Marge is still troubled by her daughter's wackadoo claims, but since Lisa appears to be happy now, it's all good. And Lisa states that one girl can make a difference, provided she travels through time.
Speaking of time, Monty claims that the park is a waste of time, space, and money, and that he'd release the hounds if only the garden allowed dogs off-leash. So Smithers runs by, being dragged by those leashed hounds. And once alone, Monty stops to smell the orchids, saying, "You're as lovely as ever, Mother," to the flower that resembles his ugly, ugly mom. So as ragtime jazz plays, Monty dances down the path. And that's our episode. But before we head into break, let's hear a hit song from the time of the Mini Moose Club. We'll be right back.
Mini Moose Mama, don't you know I wanna wipe you off the face of planet Earth? I come from Lackawanna, where I hear you are the fauna, and I'm gonna shoot you dead for what it's worth. I'm gonna give a moose call, and then I'll shoot you dead. And up on the wall will go your Mini Moose pet. Mini Moose Mama, you're my favorite ungulate, better than a llama that I'd like to terminate. Mini Moose Mama, like the Oxford comma, I'm dying to eradicate. I'm gonna kill you tonight by the silvery moon. I'll call you Mini Moose Delight and eat you with a spoon.
And we're back. Let's finish up our talk about the Fast and the Furious. We'll talk about things that made us laugh, what we thought about the episode, and what we're watching next week. But before we do all of that, let's hand out some gifts to our co-host to share the love. Some things from this episode that we thought the other one might appreciate. And Craig, well, I got you, as you mentioned, you'd like a tiny animal, so I got you the tiny giraffe. I also know that you enjoy fun, so I got you the burp and fart gun that Bart was wielding. And I got you some tappers like Lisa had, but they don't take you back in time. They just tell you when your table at TGI Fridays is ready, so you can enjoy a nice meal.
Tappa, tappa, tappa.
Tappa, tappa, tappa.
I kept thinking that every time they said the tappers.
Me too.
I appreciate that. I will enjoy my mini giraffe. It kind of sucks that I have to drive from TGI Fridays because the closest one is... Do we even have any TGI Fridays here, Steve?
No, but you're getting two tappers, so you'll get to drive two directions.
Oh, nice. There's probably one in Seattle, and that's the closest one.
Yeah, maybe one in Beaverton or something.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think that's there anymore. Well, Steve, once again, I forgot to give you a gift, so I'm in my basement, and there was something that this episode actually, like, I realized, like, oh, there was, like, baseball cards, so I think I have, hold on, yeah, it's in here. There's just something, it's just a Hornus Wagner, so you can have this.
Okay, I guess I'll take it.
Well, yeah, it was inside this comic book. It says Action Comics 1 on it, so I don't know. You want to just throw this away? Do you want it? Because it was in this comic book, so I don't know if you want it.
I'm probably going to the recycling center afterwards, so I'll take the comic too, and I'll drop it off.
I got some more, Steve, that I got to recycle. Something called Detective Comics number 27. Do you want this one to recycle?
Yeah, I guess so.
Amazing Fantasy 15.
I don't see any value in that. It's like number 15. It's not even like a number 1. So yeah, I guess I'll throw that out too.
Okay. And something called the Declaration of Independence.
That's worthless now.
That's true. Never mind. I'll keep this.
Yeah.
And I figured I've been to your bathroom, and you need a Picasso, so here's a Picasso.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
It comes with a Smithers.
Oh, nice. Because I do know that sometimes I have a Pollock in there.
I know you're referencing the painter Jackson Pollock, but I was thinking the comedian Kevin Pollock is just hanging out in your bathroom doing William Shatner impersonations while you shit.
Yeah. Sometimes he busts out a walk-in too.
Well, enjoy your crappy gift, Steve.
Thank you. I really appreciate that, and I'll see you at the bank. The money bank. Craig, what made you laugh in this episode?
I do like the beginning with the opium and sugar, the musician who swapped out his opium and sugar, and the beginning there. It was funny bit. I know it's not funny, but the little moose, super adorable, and that was the point. The scene with Homer calling the shrink crazy, obviously making sure Lisa doesn't know that everyone's crazy. That's a great scene. And I thought Joseph Gordon-Levitt as a young Monty Burns did a great job. I don't know if I would give him the MVJ, because, he was following the plot with him not being a jokester, but still, he did a great job. Homer had a couple funny one-liners, but I'm just, you know what? Joseph Gordon-Levitt never gets the love on this podcast. We've never talked about him until now, so Joseph, you're all right in my book, kid.
All right.
I just gave him a slugger move.
Very nice.
Maybe he'll do our podcast, or he'll probably have to eat chicken wings first on that other chicken wing show.
Yeah, the other chicken wing show.
There's probably another one.
Yeah.
How about you, Steve? What made you laugh in this episode?
Yeah, I liked the sugar heroin joke. I liked Homer talking about the Dream Police and Cheap Trick. I really liked the joke about, it's a very, Simpson-y joke, but, the naming the flower after his mother, Daphne, but then the complex Latin flower name. That was funny. I think I'm also going to give Most Valuable Jokester to JGL, just because he had a great performance. And like you said, had you not known that it was him, you would have just gone along with it, because I think he did that good of a job evoking Burns in such a great way. Which is, it's kind of a big challenge to have a character who's been on the air and so iconic for so long and to, emulate him and do a good job. So I think that was fun. But Craig, what were your thoughts overall in this episode?
As you know, and maybe some listeners on this podcast know, I do love a good time travel story. From your Quantum Leaps to your Back to the Futures to your Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home. And so we get to do a looper in this episode. And it got me thinking, this is supposed to be an alternate reality, but I feel like it could be a canon-esque episode, because I feel like the Simpsons have done crazier things to mess with the canon.
Yeah.
Like that 90s show, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it is an interesting concept, and that being said, I don't know if it's high up there for me on this watch. I've seen the movie Looper, which, you figured out was parodying at the end of this episode. And it's a great movie. I've only watched it once. Maybe it's one of those I would go back and watch again, but doesn't have the rewatch value, because wasn't that the big surprise at the end that Bruce Willis was actually dead and Haley Joel Osment just saw him?
Ah, damn it. Now I don't know what to watch tonight.
Oh, sorry. I meant, it turns out love was the fifth element, Steve. Love. And we all really want to die hard with a vengeance.
Hudson Hawk.
But I found myself enjoying the episode and chuckling, but nothing really drawed me into this, like, that I cared about, because I think it is one of those, like, here, this is a, as it's a Disney Plus exclusive, but really it's just like, it was the first production for the 35th season. They're like, it's not weak. It's just like, does it matter? What's the point of this? Like, if the stakes were like, it was a canon episode, maybe I'd care a little bit more. But the fact that we're seeing the alternate reality and it's just like a longer Treehouse of Horror, but not a horror episode. That's kind of how I felt about it. The acting was great. The concept of time travel, of course, is my favorite. But again, just it felt flat for me, unfortunately. So if I had to give this a ranking, again, we brought up Looper, and here on Rotten Tomatoes, Looper's got itself a 93% tomato meter. Ooh. That's certified fresh. The popcorn meter, though, fans, is only 82%, which is still, really good. So if I had to give this a percentage based off of this Looper movie, I'm going to give it a David Thompson.
Nice.
From the New Republic. He said, I found myself dreaming of the days when Willis would take a rest from Die Harding to do character cameos of unexpected depth and pathos. Pulp Fiction, Nobody's Fool, and a few others. Now he clings to stoic longevity and shoots people.
Wow.
Yeah. Dave Thompson. It's a pretty shitty review of this movie. But hey, I'm not reviewing the movie. I'm reviewing this episode. And we'll just go with that, Steve.
All right.
How about you?
Yeah, so I really like the pairing of Lisa and Monty. I think that they're like so opposite of characters that they work well together. I like a time travel story usually. I like jazz. I'm neutral on Moose. But yeah, I feel like this episode just lacks a little oomph to me. Like, I was really intrigued when the episode started because that gray, bleak world of Springfield, I was thinking, are we going to get like some sort of dystopian, horrible future? And it's just like the horrible present. And it just felt like I was not fully invested. Like, there are parts about it that I liked. I think that this could have benefited from, I don't know what kind of B-plot, but maybe something to like keep me occupied, because I just felt myself wandering mentally throughout watching this episode. And it's no fault to the actors. I think the acting is good. And I think there are some jokes, but I think plot-wise, it just falls a little flat. This might be, this is not a big point, but so Lisa is playing the character of Edith, who is her great-grandmother. I don't know on which side it is that it is. Is it Marge's relative or Homer's?
We'll never know, Steve.
Yeah. And for that, I have to knock it down a few points. No, this is like a soft watch for me, I guess. Like, I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. Like, there's nothing like offensive about this episode, but I just didn't really care that much. The moose were adorable. I wasn't even bothered by Monty's like change of heart. Like, I think that's fine, but I just wasn't like fascinated by this episode, I guess. So I'm gonna give it like a soft watch. But there were many mooses, but in real life, the average moose weighs a whopping 1,000 pounds. So out of 1,000 pounds, I'm gonna give this 557.
I think it's the idea that this is an alternate reality, but it also is not.
Mm-hmm.
It needed to be more crazy, I think, to make it an alternate reality type episode. Like, there should have been, when Lisa was making changes, besides like the moose died like 2 years earlier, or the fish, right? The Blinky has 4 eyes. I didn't think that was just a nod that like, oh, some things changed. But it should have been like, all of a sudden when she wakes up from the present, like maybe Marge has green hair and Homer is like skinny,
Right.
Something like that, just to make it even crazier than subtle things. That would have benefited, in my opinion, to make the time travel episode crazier. It's like much like Back to the Future, right? Like Marty has kind of a shitty household, like before he goes back in time. When he comes back, like the house is cleaned up, the parents are a little cleaned up. So something like that, I think, might have helped.
Yeah.
That's just, and I think that's what you're kind of like getting to as well. Like the stakes weren't high enough.
Right.
Nothing as crazy happened. Yeah.
If you're going to go as wild to be a time travel episode, make it as crazy as you can, because why not?
And I'm going to say this, that this might have benefited of being a 2 episodes, like, a 2-parter, because it is a Disney Plus. So maybe if they bumped it to like a 45-minute episode, then you could have got a lot more in there.
That's true. Yeah.
the Oh Come Ye All Faithful, like, we liked that one because it felt like it was a mini movie, and maybe do a little bit more with that. But that's my final thoughts.
I think that's a good point. I think you could have made this a lot more epic, and we would have cared more, and then maybe I would have liked it more.
Right. This did not have to be a Disney exclusive. This should have just been thrown in on Sundays at 8 o'clock some point in the season.
Yeah, I wonder if we would have reacted differently had this been, like, episode 14, like, in between two other episodes. Like, if we would have, like, liked it more. Because it does feel like it should be something special if it's an exclusive.
Right.
So, yeah, that's a good point.
Okay.
So those are our thoughts on this episode, but will next week be better? Well, to find out, we gotta find out what we're watching. And to do that, we're gonna have to visit our old friend, the Wheel of Random. So let's give it a spin to see which season we're in. Alrighty, we have season 27. Alrighty, let's give it another spin to see which episode we're watching. Alright, we have episode 12, season 27, episode 12. Now, Craig, what do you think the title of that episode is?
Well, we were talking about Looper in this one, but the title is, of course, The Fast and the Furious, which, of course, is a parody of The Fast and the Furious, which is a Vin Diesel vehicle. But don't forget his other film franchise, The Chronicles of Riddick.
Yes.
So that's why I think next week's episode is going to be called The Chronicles of Ralph Ick.
Oh, that does sound like a lot of fun. Unfortunately, no, that is not the title. Our title is Much a Poo About Something. What do you think that's about?
Well, I don't know what a poo is, except for maybe a poo, like a turd. So they would not have a character named Pooh on the show. That'd be weird. I'm going to say that Maggie keeps poo in her pants. And then she takes the poo and throws it on Bart. And Bart eats it.
Well, thankfully you're very wrong.
I'm not done.
Okay.
And the B story, there's a mart in town called the Quickie Mart, and it doesn't have anyone that runs it. So Lisa and Janie run a convenience store called the Quickie Mart.
That sounds like fun. I would like to see that, but no, Craig, you're kind of close because there is a Quickie Mart. So Sanjay gives steak in the Quickie Mart to his son, who turns it into a trendy health food market, and Bart decides to take the new store down. Do you remember this one, Craig? It had aired on January 17th, 2016.
Wow, no, I don't. That was 9 years ago.
Wow, that's wild.
I thought we had already got rid of Flanders 9 years ago. I mean, Abu Flanders. That's come from. I get them confused, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, they're both spiritual men who are small business owners.
Yeah. I don't see color, I see stash.
Nice.
Yeah, I have no idea. 2016, nothing comes to mind, Steve. How about you?
Yeah, I have no recollection of this episode. It was written by Michael Price, so that's something.
It sure is something, Steve. Well, I guess we'll have to find out by watching it. How about that?
Yes, and we hope that you'll watch along with us next week. And hey, if you want to share your thoughts, we'd love to hear from you. You can always reach us on the socials, like your Threads, your Instagram, or your YouTube at 13simpsons. Or even better, you can always email us at 13simpsons@gmail.com.
And don't forget to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you listen to this podcast. But you don't have to leave a real review. Just give us 5 stars or the equivalent and type in something like, I don't know, if you went back in time, what would you change?
And hey, if you want to change your clothes, go to tpublic.com/user/AnnoyedGruntBoy and get yourself some great Annoyed Grunt Boy swag. We got all kinds of great designs that would look great on you. All right, thank you so much for listening. For this week, I've been Annoyed Grunt Boy Steve.
And I've been Annoyed Grunt Boy Craig.
And remember, I haven't even gone remotely wackadoodle.
You're crazy, like Lisa.
Can I borrow $12?